Hey everybody, I finally coming around to finally do not a review, but I was thinking about doing just my thoughts, my comments, basically doing commentary here about Heavenly. Finally getting a chance now to actually come around and talk about how marvelous this album is, you know what I mean? I just want to say right off the bat that I love every single album by Johnny Mathis. I think his albums are absolutely brilliant. I mean, just the debut album's so great. I never really came around to listen to some of his like latest stuff. At least some of the stuff from the 2010s. I don't really care about that. But I just love the early stuff. I mean, we're talking the 50s, 60s, and the 70s was, he kind of started, you know what I mean? I definitely love some of these old traditional songs that really just pack a punch here. This was released in 1959, August of that year, which in fact, another great album came out during that time, which of course some of you folks may already know, is Miles Davis's Blue, whatever that really big album that he had. This was arranged by Glenn Ozer, and some of his other albums were also produced by some of the orchestration by Percy Faith. Most of his his Christmas album was mostly arranged by Percy Faith. I really like I really like what they got to say here on the back, and I'll kind of see if I can really try to make this very prominent here. As an artist of unusual versatility, Johnny can sing just about any song with stunning effect. The collection, called simply Johnny Mathis, is a brilliant demonstration of this, but he seems to have an especially fervent following among those who prefer ballads. And some of his biggest successes have been with the romantic numbers. Here he sings 12 of them, including notable songs, show tunes, including They Say It's Wonderful, Hello Young Lovers, and Stranger in Paradise. Also, superb standards as More Than You Know and Something I Dreamed Last Night. The Unusually Sensitive, A Ride on a Rainbow, and a sprinkling of fine new ballads. With Glenn Ozer and the orchestra, Johnny moves, perhaps glides, would be a better word. So smoothly do the songs unfold through these songs with assurance that only an exceptional technique can bring. Now that's just great, One of his most successful, one of his most successful is definitely the Johnny Mathis Greatest Hits, which of course that was a huge album. It went from, what was it, released in 58 all the way to, you know what I mean? It stretched pretty long. So Heavenly is a composition that was done by Burt Bacharach. And of course, I and of course the other, I always forget his name, but But yeah, Burt Bacharach did the song, originally recorded and wrote Heavenly, which opens the album, which I think it does, right? I believe so. Let me just check the record just to be on the positive note on that. See if it actually opens with that. Yes, it does. So yeah, definitely can tell that this is definitely a straight out of the book of Burt Bacharach. It's got the, beautiful, but though daunting, orchestration strings, beautifully well, with the polychord changes. And Johnny Mathis covering this song is absolutely perfectious. He really does an honor for the song, where he kind of really speaks for himself, but though he kind of gets your attention kind of in a way that kind of spells you a little bit to kind of realize, oh, this is this whole album is basically about, following your dreams, kind of going out somewhere, being on cloud nine. And, of course, I got to mention about the big hit on here, which of course was Misty. Very big, gigantic hit, which was written by, let me take a look at the label again. I think I do remember the name, but, I kind of forget half the time. Burke and Gardner were the writers for this song. This dated back from the early 50s. I think it was a hit for them back in 1952, 1953. Or it could have been 54. It could have been either one of those years, but I'm definitely for sure it's either 53 or 54. Maybe even 52, I don't know. But I really like the subtlety in that song. I can't get this thing in, Ever get these things, these stupid these things? I never put them in correctly. Anyways, this was a big hit for him, 1959. I get misty the moment you're near. Just so great. I just really love it. And of course, it opens side 2. I do also love most of the stuff on side 2 more than side 1, I think. So we'll kind of just go through maybe the songs I kind of actually know and maybe kind of, let you guys know. Stranger in Paradise, absolutely marvelous song. So beautifully done. I really, it's got the beautiful, the really great piano arrangements. So great. I really like that one. I also love Moonlight Becomes You. It's really excellent. Really nice song that just starts off with another one. You know what I mean? Just really great. I do also love the Irving Berlin song, which of course was from, Annie Get Your Gun. From the movie, They Say It's Wonderful. That's great, Love that song. And I'll Be Easy to Find. Such a magnificent one. But the most favorite song of mine, definitely on this album, is That's All. Look that song up. I'll even post it here on my channel. That's All. We're not talking the Genesis song. We're talking about the song that was originally done back in, let's say probably the early 50s, late 40s. I love it. That's all, that's all. He's got the really, sometimes he gets really deep into it. The way I can describe this album is picture yourself, like I mentioned already, picture yourself in some different world, a dream world. And I feel like this is what this album is pretty much, and it's kind of almost a concept album, kind of. Maybe you can think it that way. Maybe it's kind of almost a concept, but, where almost every song feels like you're in some sort of different, dealing with being in another world. Basically being in some other enchanted, oddly world, This is great. I think most people know this album. This is absolutely one of the most highly regarded albums by lots of people. And I definitely love the album cover. It's so great. He definitely did, most of his album covers are definitely painted. The majority of his albums were definitely done by a painter, and it's absolutely great. I love that cover, the front cover there. And, that belt, he's got a blue, white, red, white, and blue, And that album cover definitely describes what this album basically is. When you take a look at this album cover alone, you know that this album is going to be based on mostly just, being in a romantic set of mind, and also kind of being experienced with being in love for the first time. You know what I mean? So it has all these elements of basically just being either falling in love or kind of going off to some other, other dimension, kind of, you know what I mean? And I love it. This album is absolutely great. I always highly regard this album. I've had plenty of videos always talking about this album. And, it's great. I think it's a perfect romantic album. There's not much I can say going forward here with my commentary. But this is great. Heavenly by Johnny Mathis is definitely one of my favorites. You know, I really love his Johnny Mathis Sings. Definitely a lot of his Mercury albums. I would love to go ahead and talk about more commentary. Maybe not a review, but commentary on just the songs and, you know, what could this album could be, you know what I mean? But definitely one of my favorites by Johnny Mathis, Heavenly. And that's all I got to say about Heavenly. Okay, folks, till then, take care. Bye-bye.